Okay, so now it's time to apply our stencil. What we're gonna do is smooth it over with your hand on the front side. Flip it over. You'll see that there's different layers to this. We're going to peel off this back white layer, okay? So at a diagonal, just slowly peel it back. Okay, you can throw that piece away. Now, I'm gonna flip it over. And we're going to line it up where the edge of the blue stencil meets the brown, okay? So that's how you wanna line it up. And also pay attention to where this R and this A is, that there's about the same distance, and that looks good. So once we have it where we want it, again, lined up the blue stencil at the top here, and then the A and the R at the bottom, about the same amount of space on each side. We are just going to now smooth it out with our fingers. And then there is one more layer we have to remove, and that is this plastic clear layer. This is actually just contact paper, and we need to remove that. So we're just going to slowly start removing that. If some of your letters start coming off, like the centers, just push back on it, press down. But it looks like so far so good. Okay, that just happened. We're going to smooth that back down, and then it laid back down for me. Oops, the E came off. He's going to get pushed back down. So just take it slow. Make sure that there's no blue pieces coming off on your contact paper. So far, so good. Oops. Push it down. Oops, my camera's moving. And just continue. Okay, we have a little bit more. We're just going to push that down and continue to remove it. A little bit more came up. Push it down. And looks like everything else is going to come up okay. So everything's intact. You're not missing any of your pieces. If you did miss some, you might have a few pieces left on your contact paper. We can fix that. But for the most part, hopefully it looks something like this. Your centers are in place of your S's, your E, your L, your B, your T, your S. Everything's in place. Okay? So we can set that aside. We don't need that contact paper anymore. We can throw that away. And now we're going to take our spoon that is in your bag, and we're going to press down just around the letters. Not really, super hard, but just give it a nice press so that, just a light press, so that the stencil material is adhered really well to the wood, so we don't have a lot of bleeding. So just a light pressure. Do that all along. If you have any air bubbles, work at those air bubbles out too. Okay, so now we're going to take our white paint and take your clean sponge brush and your white paint and just get some white paint on there. Doesn't have to be a ton, but we're just going to go over each letter, okay, with your white paint. This is going to help with bleeding, because once this dries, we're going to go over these letters with black paint. So this actually kind of creates a little barrier, and hopefully we won't have a lot of bleeding. If we do have bleeding, we can touch it up, we can fix it, but we're going to try to prevent that. So the white paint helps to do that. So just a nice light coat of white paint. You don't need to put it on too heavy, but you do want to make sure you cover each letter. Okay. So once we have that nicely covered, we're just gonna let it dry.